All right, we're going to open up the mic to our next guest speaker, Lori. She's also with the Family First Act and a good friend of mine. I've only known her for, what, a year and a half now? Yeah, about a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I'm going to open up to her because I know she's got a lot of exciting things to share with everybody today.
Where's Raymond? He's a tough act to follow. Oh, there you are. As Raymond and everybody told you, it is the follow the money, the Title 4E, D and E, D for alienation of parents, where they can get the most child support, and E, that states only get money from the federal government to remove children from their homes, which is, I didn't believe it when I first heard it, because how can money be more important than family and children? But it is true. So for the past 2 years, we've been working on the Family First Act. There's a poster over there. And that, even though we would like to stop all the Title IV E and D monies, well, the E anyway, we don't think that's going to happen because we just don't think it is. So we changed the bill, the Family First Act of 2015, then 2016, now we'll be on 2017, and it enables the federal money that states get to go toward keeping families together. Because right now, the only way states get money is for removal of children. So even if a family literally needs help, which most don't, need government to come in and tell us what to do, but even if families need help, they come in and they just remove the children. That's the only way financially that the states, I'm not making excuses for them by any means, but but for the states to get money. So the Family First Act puts it that if they want federal money, states or counties or however the CPS, DCF works in the area, that they would have to put services in place to keep the families together. And it would also do away with the adoption bonuses. States get money, every adoption, money for every time they take kids away from families, and then money again anytime a child is adopted. And then those adoptive parents get money too every month for taking care of those children. Adopted parents, if they want to adopt children, then they should be able to afford those children, because that's how we get these kids that are abused. Like Raymond said, they're more likely to be abused in foster and adoptive homes than they ever would with their families. And I think it's 70% more likely to be sexually abused. That's absolutely ridiculous. And all the studies show that even children fare better. Children fare better even when they're from a family with issues. We all have issues. Every family has issues. So, but what's most important is a child feels belonged, and a child feels belonged when they're with their natural family. And yeah, there's a big drug epidemic going on here. But in like the state of Washington, parents that are struggling through, and that's the pharmaceutical industry made this opiate addiction epidemic anyway. So when people unknowingly get addicted to medicine and get clean, and it is a back and forth. I'm living it with my daughter, but they can make a directive that says this person, if I should relapse again, can have take over my children while I get clean. And I forget where I lost my train of thought, but I moved on to Washington and I forget why. But we know sometimes it happens, and if a child is not safe at their home, there's family. But DCF and CPS, they don't place children with families because that's not an incentive, financial incentive for them either. They'd rather keep it with stranger foster care. And this act, also the Family First Act, spells out that it has to place children with families if they are to get any financial federal money while parents go through their rehabs and stuff like that. It is freezing out here. But as uncomfortable as we may be with this cold weather, can you imagine a child? We can imagine a child, because these children are in our families, that doesn't have their parents around and don't even know why, because they've been taking from the schools, from, they don't understand, and that's a horrible way, and that's more detrimental to a child than growing up in a non-perfect family, because none of us are perfect. So that's what I have to say. So we're going to be starting again on the Family First Act of 2017. We really thought it was going to pass 2016. And I'll tell you the reason it didn't pass. We had all the House of Representatives. We had them all on board. They unanimously, I can't pronounce that, but voted for that. And then we got to the Senate, and at the end of the day, all but 3 were in favor of this bill. Now, if a normal bill would go to the floor and you would vote and you would have 97 up for it and 3 against it, and it would pass pretty much overwhelmingly. But the thing is, they didn't want this bill to go on the floor. They didn't want to know the reason. They didn't want it out in the open, because when you have bills that are being discussed, it's national, it's televised, and they didn't want to know what really happens to foster kids out there. They didn't want to hear all their stories. Half of them are the problem anyway, but so it didn't pass because of 3 senators. This time we're hoping with a new administration who knows these problems that are going on, we'll have better luck and maybe even get all bonuses out, all like we want. Thank you.
You're exactly right, Raymond. We are going to get it. Thank you, Lori, for this kind words.